There are many attributes about Chris Chan that are equally horrible and deluded. He has to be the worst person on the entire internet, and let it be known that this is no understatement. He has proven time and again that he truly is hopeless. He posted graphic hand-drawn pictures of himself with a friend, traumatized of the local game place owner, and even drank his own on video. It would be fair to say that he is beyond hope, a lost cause. Yet, none of these actions pale in comparison to the news of him, his own mother, who suffered from dementia. There are some truly disturbing and deranged things Chris has done in his life, and the list of his victims is too long to fit in a single video. This is why in this video, we'll talk about some of the worst things he has done that many people don't know about. 1. Rocky Shoemaker. The first one on our list is Rocky Shoemaker. She was an assistant pastor at the Wesley Memorial United Methodist Church at the age of 40. Not many people know this, but she used to advise Chris on both personal and social matters since 2008. However, she was never qualified to deal with a mentally challenged individual like Chris. After his drawn nudes were leaked in 2008 by some internet trolls, Chris wrote an email to Reverend Elizabeth Foss asking her for forgiveness. That's when Rocky was referred to Chris as the church's new pastoral counselor, thus beginning her role in Chris's life. Unlike many people in Chris's life, Rocky was always kind to him. She suggested Chris read the children's book, How to Talk to Girls, after he had asked Rocky for help on his infamous love quest. Not only this, but she also consistently advised Chris to leave the internet and stop making videos. She knew how unkind and cruel internet trolls could be, and it seemed like she really cared about Chris and his mental being. In fact, it was probably after Rocky advised Chris to stop making videos that he uploaded a video titled YouTube Finale on his channel, claiming that it would be his last video.
This will be the last video I upload to YouTube, but my inspiration shall continue. To my loyal fans, thank you for your patience. They will continue to be rewarded. As for those who despise me, justice will be served. Peace.
But this was far from the truth. In July 2009 IRC chat, Chris, believing that he had entered the chat incognito, although the trolls had in fact instantly seen through his false identity, suggested that the trolls forced him to Rocky. This came as a big shock to Rocky, considering that she always tried her best to help Chris and his family. It was also she who bailed Chris and his mother from jail after they attacked the game place in October 2011. Although she knew about this, she never kicked Chris out of the church, and that says a lot about how patient she was with Chris. In 2011, Rocky was again fooled by a troll posing as a court-appointed psychiatrist. The troll called Rocky asking her some information about Chris, although she declined initially and said that she would need some form of court authorization to tell them the information. She eventually gave in and told the troll about the infestation problem in Chris's house.
Hello?
Oh, good afternoon. Is this Miss Shoemaker?
I beg your pardon?
Is this Miss or Mrs. Shoemaker?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Yes, my name is Dr. Perrin. I was appointed by the court to give an assessment of Chris's mental health. Have you been aware of any of this?
No, I don't have any authorization to talk to anybody about this.
Oh, well, he suggested that we give you a call. You've been his pastoral counselor for some time.
Yeah, but I would have to see something in writing simply because I have been getting a lot of unauthorized phone calls. They are having an infestation problem in that home.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and the health department has already visited there, and
oh my goodness,
it would probably not be a real wise place for you to go.
Are they still living there, or have they taken up alternate accommodation? Because according to Mr. Bell and Christian, they were still living there.
Yeah, they are still living there.
Even then, She was trying to protect Chris despite the fact he had said such horrible things about her. She retired in 2018 from the church, but before that, she met Chris one last time. The meeting was arranged by guard dogs who were trying to get Rocky to report idea guys to the police. However, all she did was advise Chris to seek therapy. She did not meet Chris even after that. She was the only person who actively tried to help Chris. She even reported trolls to the police and called a security check on Ivy, who made Chris post the video of him drinking his own semen. But all in vain. There was nothing Rocky could have done to stop the mad and horrible crimes that Chris later committed. 2. Bob Chandler. Christian Chandler raped his own mother, touched her while she was paralyzed, and later recalled all the horrifying details in gruesome texts with a stranger online. Although Bob died long before all this happened, Chris was no nicer to him either. He constantly got into arguments with him, shouted at him, and made life hell for him overall. His behavior at the game place was so troubling that an employee had to call Bob about the situation.
Well, after he left, when he couldn't get himself unbanned, he came back several days later and was taking pictures of people in the store.
Well, that's not illegal.
One of the patrons, some people felt that he was threatening them, to be honest. One woman said that he was taking pictures of her son. I don't know if that's true or not, but Mike was there and he became angry and called the police because your son was trespassing.
Well, he hadn't told him
And-
he didn't come in there. It's a business place.
Even after the Megan incident, Bob unjustly defended his son. He blamed Megan and Snyder, who was the manager of the game place at that time, for Chris's behavior. Although Bob always had difficulty dealing with Christian's autism, a disorder that both his parents didn't fully understand, he tried his best to treat Chris nicely, but that didn't land him into Chris's good books at all. Bob became particularly famous among the trolls after he made an appearance in one of Chris's videos and threatened to cut the internet.
Get away from that TV. Fine. Get away from the internet. I'm cutting it down right now. No! Dad, no! Yes. No! What are you doing?
This incident gave him the nickname Internet Lumberjack. But this isn't the only time Chris and Bob have fought online. After the news of their home infestation got out, the trolls fed on it like hungry wolves. In one of his videos, you can see Chris asking the trolls to remove everything about his house from the internet when Bob walked into the room and told him off.
Listen to me. Yes. Shut that goddamn thing off. I don't care what you do. You get all that stuff off of there tonight.
I'm working on it.
Go work on it.
I am
Do
working.
you realize something? Let me tell you. If the health department of Greene County sees those videos that you put on the damn internet, they could condemn our house and we would have to move out of it.
I see.
You go get that goddamn stuff off of there and fast.
I'm working on it. I was making a video for you to tell everybody to get the images off of the internet. It's out of my control.
Oh, you get them off.
It's out of my control. I don't know where to go. I don't know where to
You
go.
loaded them up there. You unload them.
I'm working on it.
Go do it.
I am doing it. I'm sorry.
Get in here and do it.
Bob also tried to instill some of his varied tastes and hobbies into Chris. He collected items and DVD players, which he gave to Chris. But Chris never cared about those things and sold them as soon as Bob died. Bob even created the dreaming studio in his backyard, hoping that he and Chris would build things in there. However, Chris wasn't really interested in building anything with Bob. Hence, nothing was ever created in that studio. Bob wrote Chris a letter in which he told Chris that he was giving Chris his grandfather's straight razor, which was broken when he wanted to take care of it. He wrote in his letter, "I hope that you will not carelessly misuse, waste, or destroy the value of the many things I have collected for you. Do not be in such a hurry to use, play, or work with these things. First, learn all about them, how to use them and enjoy them, their value, and how you can thoughtlessly waste their value. Then, enjoy them as I have." Simply put, Chris was never grateful towards Bob, even though Bob himself was the cause of instilling many wrong views in Chris. He at least tried to better him, but for Chris, it didn't matter. And if all of this was not enough, Chris continued to disrespect Bob even after his death. During the Idea Guys saga, Chris's most deluded belief in multidimensional merge came forward. These guys exploited his sense of reality, making him believe things that weren't only false, but also downright bizarre. He claimed that Bob's spirit resided in the CWC-ville universe as a half-Sonichu named Robert Chu. He drew him as a beaver with checkerboard fur, a reference to his nickname as a lumberjack. Chris also believed that Bob met the famous serial killer Ted Bundy while in CWC-ville, and they both defended it together. Chris didn't leave his father alone after he even died. He continued to disrespect his spirit long after he was gone. While many people believe that Bob wasn't a good father himself, he at least tried his best to defend Chris and help him with his life. But for people like Chris, there's really no hope. It wasn't that there wasn't anyone to help Chris. Some people wanted to help him, understand him, and care about him. But how can you help someone who doesn't want to be helped himself? This is exactly why Chris became this monster, because he did not want to be helped even if there were people who were willing to. The next victim on our list is not a person but a poor animal. People have expressed concern regarding Chris's pets countless times before. The Chandlers have had at least 12 cats over the years. Several were taken in from strays that hang out in their yard, and the origins of the rest are unknown. After Chris and his mom had to be moved out of their house, some of the neighbors took pity on poor traumatized cats and took them in. Of the others, one was adopted out, 5 are deceased, and the statuses of the rest are unknown. Of the deceased cats, 1 died from old age, 1 after running away from home, 2 from illness shortly after being taken in from the strays in the yard, and 1 was killed in the 2014 house fire. He was not only extremely neglectful towards his pets, but the poor animals were also extremely malnourished. He did not feed his cats and never took the dog out for a walk. The pets peed on the carpet and on the mat. Simply put, it was really bad.
Kitty. Come here, kitty. Kitty. Oh. Easy now, kitty. Easy now.
Chris did not know how to take care of himself, let alone an animal. If this is not enough, he also said some really disturbing things about his cats online. I would like to state, I do not quote-unquote piddle my cats. The only parts I touch on them are their back and their heads, nothing more. However, he was not only neglectful towards his own pets, but Chris was also responsible for killing his neighbor's cat. Even though he did not do it himself, he was the one who got the cat killed. He had some sort of an argument going on with his neighbor, or maybe he just didn't like him. This is why he called the animal control center to take their pet away. During the Catherine saga, he wrote an email to her telling how a neighbor's pet scratched him. For that reason, he called the animal control and told them to put the cat to sleep. What makes it worse is that he described the owner of the cat as a preteen boy. So Chris did not only kill an innocent animal, but he also took a child's pet away from him. In one of his emails to Christina, he wrote, in 14 Branchland CT. I don't know the number. The preteen boy in there hates us because after their cat attacked me and my family with its claws, we called animal control. They picked up the cat and put it to sleep. Since then, he, in league with his grandfather, has bred a snake and released it through a hole, which we are guessing he had made, in our cement front porch and released it into our house. The incident says a lot about Chris and what a heartless person he was. He had no empathy for anyone, be it human beings or a poor animal. Just because he had his own grudges against the neighbor's family, he did not think twice before getting the poor cat killed. Some people even say that they wouldn't be surprised if Chris was actually trying to steal the cat. A lot of people don't know about this incident since Chris never talked about it and it did not receive enough attention. But it was a clear sign that Chris wouldn't hesitate to take a life if the victim was weak and helpless, be it the neighbor's cat or his 80-year-old paralyzed mother. 4. The Wallflower. The Wallflower is the code of Megan Schroeder's heiress. She was a girl Chris met in his post-high school era. In early 2010, she managed to land herself on Chris's list of potential sweethearts. According to Christian, he met the Wallflower in January 2010 in some sort of social group that she attended. Despite Wallflower telling him that she did not want a romantic relationship, Chris continued to refer to her as his girlfriend. He said multiple times on the CWC blog that he was dating Wallflower. He said, "My girlfriend and I are getting along great. The relationship is progressing. I only ask for y'all to leave me with my relationship and not make me feel intruded by inquiring constantly. However, the relationship between him and Wallflower had not been what he said it was. He himself admitted in a private chat with Jackie that she was just a friend. When Jackie asked him if they were dating, he said no, but later changed his statement and told Jackie how he used to take her out. He also said in his chat, "We hung out at her house in her room. It was comfy. No sex or mouth-to-mouth. I took the plunge before the trolls started to intrude after a date when I brought her back to her house, and before I left, I kissed her face cheek. As she later broke up with me, she raised her voice and told me that she was not all that into a relationship. This makes it clear that Wallflower probably did not want all that to happen, just like Megan. And if that's not enough, Chris even mentioned her pen name online, which helped the trolls put 2 and 2 together and connect her to CWCKI. She also did not want her identity to be revealed, hence she cut ties with Chris. But Chris wasn't about to let her go this easily. This guy just has to end all of his friendship with the bad blood, and especially in this case, when she was in an agonizing one-sided relationship with her.
I have been depressed lately because of my girlfriend having left me. Because of what this one guy did.
After the breakup, Chris uploaded a bunch of videos online acting distraught. He blamed Clyde Cash, his old nemesis, for the breakup. When all of this didn't work and Chris finally realized that he failed to regain her trust, he eventually gave up and let his frustration out by insulting her because she was asexual. Chris proved countless times that he was not someone you could trust or be friends with. He treated almost all of the girls he was friends with in the worst possible way. And let's not even mention what he did to his mother. The details of that incident are too graphic and disturbing to even mention here in the video.